disregard the background. We were going to upload a video about Elijah McClain first, but due to a change in issues, this video is going to go up first, so everything I say about the Elijah video, please don't mind that. That will be up September 4th. So please enjoy this, and please think about it, do your research, and all that. Okay, enjoy the video.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to A&G Productions. As you can see, this is my video week. And we're going to take a breather from Black Lives Matter for a moment. We're not taking a break because sometimes people don't come back from breaks. So we're taking a second. We will definitely be covering more Black Lives Matter movement and all that, but this channel isn't just about that. Trust me, there's a lot more important stuff to deal with as well. And for my video topic this week, which might get broken up depending on how long this video becomes whilst filming. Also, it's really hot, so if you hear my fan, that is why. So, my video is going to be about human trafficking / child sex trafficking. Now, that may sound the same, but honestly, it's not, because I was researching this, and there's so much more to human trafficking that we don't know about unless you physically go and research it, which, by the way, will be linked down below. As per every other video, we link everything down below in the description box so you can get more detailed versions and information on things and how to help. Anyway, so human trafficking, to sum it up, involves the use of force, fraud, or coercion to obtain some type of labor or commercial sex act. Traffickers use force, fraud, or coercion to lure their victims and force them into labor or commercial sexual exploitation. Which I cannot tell you how wrong that is, because human trafficking isn't just one age, one gender, one race. It goes beyond any age, from, I hate to say this, from newborn baby to a 100-year-old grandmother. It doesn't matter how old you are. If this person is looking at you, they are going to study your movements around your day, what time you do stuff, when you're home, when you're not home, places you go on a regular basis, your normal routine. That means they'd probably be in their car following you the moment they find their real, wanted victim. And for them, this is a lot of preparation. It's not just spontaneous. It's not, how do you say this? A spree. It's not a spree. They pick you specifically, and they watch you. And then when the time is right, they take you. And depending on how old you are, it changes how they lure you into their trap. So, if you don't know what coercion is, it is the practice of persuading someone to do something. And that could be literally anything. Coercion could be good, or it could be bad. And in this case, it is horrible. So stick around for some more information. Oh, and also by using force or threats. I forgot about that part, but that's okay. There are types of human trafficking, and I'm not going to go through every single one, especially not in detail, because we don't want this video to be any longer than what it's going to be. So, what I have here says, human smuggling is consensual, whereas trafficking is done against the person's will. Now, to me, human smuggling sounds just as bad, and I don't see why anyone would consent to that. I wouldn't consent to that, and I know many of you wouldn't either. So, I don't know what to tell you there. There are 3 common types of human trafficking: sex trade, forced labor, and domestic servitude, which is basically slavery, working for someone else, etc., etc. The economic sectors that profit most from human trafficking, basically people who get money for having these people work for them, basically, the victims working for that said person, would be agriculture, restaurants, manufacturing, domestic work, entertainment, hospitality, and the commercial sex industry. Trafficking can occur between countries or areas within a country. So basically that means, let's say, a child gets abducted, right? And they get taken. They don't know where they're going. They're in the back of some car, and they're with these complete strangers that they do not know who they are. And they're just stuck in the back of this car, and the next thing they know, they're in a crate. And when they're on this crate, they end up on a plane, and they end up in, let's say, Jamaica. And they go into an area in Jamaica, and then they are basically put up for sale. And these sick people buy said child and do whatever they want with them. Get rid of them, keep them for their own needs, give them to somebody else for a birthday gift, or whatever. And what's crazy is people think that this kind of thing isn't serious or it just isn't real. It is very serious and it is very real. And a lot of these children, adults, or whoever, they don't make it home because no one wants to listen, or the case that is being worked on doesn't get solved in time. When it's a child, normally, you never know how long they're going to live, depending on the situation. And no one really knows what that situation is going to be, except for the person doing said situation. So, therefore, when people are in these kinds of situations, it's all time-based to get it solved and to find them. You never know if they're going to end up dead somewhere else across the world, or just held in someone's basement right under your nose. You would never know. Ever. It can happen to any race, gender, or age. It literally does not matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what your race is. It doesn't matter anything. If someone wants you bad enough for their own sick needs, they're going to get you and they're going to use you. Excuse me. Recruiting victims can take place at schools, local stores, or even from your own home. So basically, whoever is coming to get you unknowingly, they can get you from anywhere. They can use some kind of ruse, which is like a little lie that you don't know is a lie, that they use to get your attention, and they make you vulnerable, and you make that person think, oh, they really need my help, and then you go with them, and then next thing you know, you're being kidnapped. So basically, an example of that would be, let's say, a man who's holding a leash and says, hey, I can't find my dog, can you help me? And then that person will start a small conversation with you and get you so distracted and make you vulnerable, and then you have a casual conversation, and next thing you know, you're either knocked out, drugged, and then you're put in their car, and no one sees it. No one sees it. They know what they're doing, they've done this for a while, and they're going to continue doing this until they get caught. These victims get groomed in stages by the abuser. And what grooming means is basically training them to do the next step. So traffickers tend to look for victims who are vulnerable by using acts of kindness to groom them into submission. There are two ways the abuser will pimp a victim. One way is finesse pimping. Finesse pimping is normally used for children, and it's basically where the attacker uses kindness and psychological games to attract young, vulnerable victims. So, like I said with the ruse with the dog, normally, yeah, a child would fall for that, because like, oh, you lost your animal, you'd be sad if you never found them, so I'm going to help you find your animal. Or, hey, I saw your mom, she's passed out, she's not waking up, or something like that. Back in the 70s, Ted Bundy did something similar to this. Of course, he wasn't kidnapping them and using them for needs. He did other things to his victims. He got this 12-year-old girl from coming out of school, because I think she left her purse or something, or she was leaving a play, and Ted was like, hey, your dad got in a horrible accident. Next thing you know, he takes her in his car, takes her out to a field, and has his way with her. This is similar to that, except we don't know what they're doing with these people at all. They just get taken from wherever they're at. And now, opposed to that, there is gorilla pimping, which is mainly used for adults, teens to adults. It involves more violence and intimidation to force the victim into submission. Basically what that is there's no niceties. There's no games, no shortcuts, it is straight to the point. They will either bash you in the back of the head with a bottle, or whatever they've got. They'll drug you, whether the drug works fast or slow, and if you're still comprehensive, you'll get up and try to fight your way to leave. And if that doesn't work, they will literally tackle you, do whatever they can to obtain you. And with that, knowing that you're an adult, you know better. Mentally, you know better to not go with someone that makes you feel uncomfortable, that scares you. You're not going to go do that. So, and the attackers, they know that. They know this. They're not stupid. They know what they're doing. So they're going to do everything they can to get you. And it's harder for them to get adults because adults do know better. So trafficking normally has more to do with children because they're easier to get. And then there's forced labor, which is basically where they force you to work. You have to work for whatever they have you do. Even if you could be a rich man and someone brings this young lady, man, whatever, and they're your new maid. They have to work for you. They can't say no. They can't disobey you. They can't do anything against you. They have to listen to you, and if they don't listen to you, it could be their life. And there's labor trafficking, which is a subtext of that, which means the recruitment, harboring, transportation, provision, or obtaining of a person for labor or services through force for the purpose of subjection to involuntary servitude. So what that basically is, to sum it up, is where they force you to work for someone. You have no choice. You don't even get to pick where you go. So if this person is absolutely horrible to you, that's where you're stuck. Even if the person that you end up with is good, you still have to work for them, and there's no getting out of it unless someone is actively looking for you or you're smart enough to have a plan in your head to escape. Now, I'm not sure how many people escape or how many people get found during something like this. Like I said, I don't want to delve into actual physical details of human trafficking because I feel like it is something more that you have to read and learn yourself. All I can do is provide you with surface information that is very helpful to a situation like this. And then there is like a small definition of peonage, which is basically the act of paying off a debt through work. Now, I don't know exactly what debt they would be paying off the victims because we don't know why they're being taken. We don't know what interests the trafficker. We don't know why they're picking this person. It could just be for the simple fact that they're pretty. You never know. Or if they're strong and they need someone to work for them and lift up heavy things. That could be a reason as well. And then there's debt bondage, where the victim is forced in bonded labor to pay off debt by working. And again, we don't know what debt they're paying. Maybe they owe them something and they never took care of it, and they need to pay it off. So they work and work and work until they cannot work anymore. And then there's recognizing vulnerable victims. And with that, I can close this because that is easy to explain without research. Vulnerable victims would basically be anyone. It could be you, it could be me, it could be Sally Sue down the street. What they do is they look for someone that is naive and easily tricked. And not a lot of people are. But everyone does have a soft spot for vulnerability. So basically, this can go from anyone. And when I looked it up, it said it could go from anyone that is in a foster home, LGBT community, black, a woman, a child, elderly, people like that. And they do their research before they come and get you. And it's sad. It's really sad that this happens. And a lot of people don't care. And I think people should care more about this. Because it could be your child, your wife, your whoever that gets taken. And you could possibly never see them again. And there's a lot of stuff that you can find on the black market that belong to people that have been trafficked. If you don't watch mystery boxes of like blacklists or black market items, most of those items are from people who have been taken and are being sold and being trafficked. And a lot of people buy these things just for YouTube entertainment, which, yeah, I like watching those videos, but it's sad knowing how people obtained those items. And a lot of them are really scary. A lot of the items that you will see are children's book bags filled with books, clothes, toys, pictures of them and their family. And it gets scary. It really does. And what scares me the most is I have siblings, and they're all younger. I am the oldest. And if I ever found out someone took one of my siblings, I would lose my mind. I would happily go to jail to get them back, you know? Like, I would do anything for them. And it makes me upset because a lot of the people that buy these children and these older people, are pedophiles. Which is another situation we are trying to deal with hashtag Save Our Children. By the way, please get hashtag Save Our Children trending on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever media that you use. Please get that trending. It is very important. We need to save every single child that we can, if not all of them, as much as we possibly can. We need to save the children that are in cages. We need to save children that are in sex trafficking, human trafficking. We need to save children from pedophiles, rapists, anyone. We need to save them. They are just as important as an adult. Children are our future, whether you refuse to believe it or not. We need to save these children, and if we do not save these children, then I cannot feel for people who don't understand how much we need to protect kids. Yeah, sure, kids are bad and whatnot. It doesn't matter. That does not matter at all when it comes to their life, okay? It is not okay to have a 48-year-old man touching a little girl. It is not okay to have your 23-year-old homie hooking up with a 16-year-old that's still in high school. It is not okay for your mom or your dad to touch that little boy or little girl that's down the street from you. It is not okay to touch kids inappropriately. It is not okay to sell children. It is not okay to sell children at all. It is not okay to rape them. It is not okay to molest them. It is not okay. We need to make that more ingrained into people's heads. I cannot explain to you how many times I can watch a TV show that is based on real events about child trafficking, sex trafficking, or pedophiles, or rapists, or anything like that. There is an episode of Criminal Minds where this little girl goes missing, and the parents are a set of twin brothers married to each different spouse. And they're a family, aunt, uncle, and whatever. And the little girl that goes missing is taken by the aunt of the brother-in-law. And the brother-in-law would touch the little girl, and she had a Barbie doll, and she cut up the hair and wrote on it, And that is how she feels because she was being touched by her father's brother. And she was probably like 6 or 7 on the show. And that, if that doesn't speak levels to you, then you are the problem. I cannot explain how much that hurts me because I have siblings and I know for a fact that if that stuff were happening, I would be in jail. If that happened to my siblings, I would be in jail. And I would happily be there. Because pedophiles are disgusting. Rapists are disgusting and human traffickers are disgusting. We need to end that as soon as possible. I know it's a lot of work to go through and it's a lot to do. And the FBI can only do so much and save so many people. And that's why we need to work together. We need to come together and we need to stop it. And pedophiles cannot reoffend if they're not alive. Offenders cannot reoffend if they are not alive. And I know what you're going to say. Oh, but they're human. No, they are monsters. You are no longer human once you ruin another human's life in a way that is inexplicable, in a way that's unchangeable. The moment you rape someone, their life is over to them. There is no fixing that. They can mentally heal from that, but it'll always be back there. They will always feel that pain. It'll never go away. The moment you molest someone, that never goes away. You ruin their life. They will never look at sexual relations the same again. It'll take them so long to want to be able to do that again, to be able to feel that again. And when they meet that right person, they will know that it's okay to be touched like that by someone that actually cares for them and someone that actually loves them. I know people personally that have went through that, and it sucks. And if you can't be there to support them in their time of need, you suck, and you are also part of the problem. And I'm going to say it again. Offenders cannot reoffend if they are not alive. And if we just get rid of them, that'd be great. And if you are moving into a new neighborhood, please do your research. Look up offenders near you, offenders near this neighborhood or in your neighborhood before you move there. Try to keep your children as safe as you can. I know it's not easy. I know I'm not a mom, but I am a sibling, which is basically second motherhood, because you cannot be the fun sibling all the time. Sometimes you have to be the mom too. And my siblings don't realize this, but I can be fun and I can be not fun. And I do it to keep them safe. I do it to push them so they can do their dreams and go for it. And if you can't be a balance of both, then you are not a good sibling or friend. And you need to be able to understand what your child is going through. Because pedophiles aren't just creepy old men. They can be your friends, they can be your parents, they could be anyone in your family, they could be your teachers, your police officer, your doctor. It could be anyone, and you would never know until they get caught. And that's the problem. We need to catch them sooner. And the reason why we don't catch them sooner is because people don't listen to their children. Because they think it's a game, or they think they're lying. That is not something to lie about. And false rape accusations are just as bad. Not only did you ruin that person's life that literally did absolutely nothing to you, they don't even know who you are, you should go to prison for that. It's plain and simple. And I think, personally, fake rape accusations also need to end. That is not attention you want, because you will be in prison, and when you get out, if you get out, people are not going to like you. They're not going to believe anything you say. And a lot of people right now are coming at celebrities with fake rape accusations. And some of these people are literally fans, and the celebrity doesn't even know who this person is. Like, stop doing fake rape accusations. It's not cool on anyone. It doesn't make anyone look good at all. That's ruining someone's life that you don't even know. And if you do know them, that's just as bad. You ruined a friendship that you had, or whatever. And it's just the fact that this stuff keeps happening and happening, and no one seems to really care. And the people that do care get hushed. And to that, I say, keep speaking. They're getting uncomfortable. Say it louder. Save our children. And if you do use the hashtag Save Our Children, sorry, it's literally 2 in the morning. Good. Use Save Our Children, but do not use Save the Children. Save the Children is being funded by pedophiles. And it's everywhere on Facebook. If you haven't seen it, then I don't know where you've been. I don't know what rock you're under, but you need to get out from under it. And you need to, I don't know, do something about it. We cannot be silent about this stuff anymore. It is 2020. Sex trafficking has been happening for actual years, and it needs to stop. It needs to be stopped. There is no way to keep it going. There's no reason to keep this stuff going. There is absolutely no reason. We have to stop all pedophiles, rapists. We got to stop the creeps. We have to. We need to keep our children safe. As safe as we possibly can make them. Now, you can't be Superman. You can't be there all the time. You cannot protect them from everything. But what you can do is try. And if you try your hardest, then that's just as good. We can no longer be silent about this. We can no longer let our children be harmed. We need to speak up, and we need to do something about it. So, I'm glad you stuck around for this long video, but I love you all so much. And remember, don't be complicit, be explicit, and be kind and have a peace of mind. I'll see y'all the Friday after.